Can you imagine burying both your parents in just 5 months? And barely 2 weeks after the second funeral, your relatives show up at the gate, knocking, saying, "This house needs a man in charge." That was Somto's reality. Somto was a 25-year-old boy, the first child and first son, the quiet, responsible one. While others his age were partying, flexing, and chasing soft life, Somto already knew that wasn't his lane. He was the first child, and that meant role model by fire or by force. They used to call him Daddy Junior, playfully of course, until life actually made it true. His parents weren't rich, but they had a kind of love that made you believe in teamwork. Every major decision, from school choice to house rent, was taken together, side by side. They spaced their kids intentionally. After Somto, they waited 3 years before having another, then 2 more years apart from the next. 4 kids, all raised with intentional love, but his mom, strong as she was, lived with sickle cell. Not many people knew. She didn't like pity, so she rarely mentioned it. In fact, Somto himself didn't even find out until he was about to enter the university. She had crises over the years, sure, hospital visits, blood transfusions here and there, but nothing too alarming. Over time, she developed a personal system, a herbal mixture from one baba in their hometown that helped reduce her crisis. She believed in it. She swore by it. This thing walked past all these hospital drips and expensive injections, she would say, sipping it slowly. Pain or no pain, she still went about her day to day. You'd barely even know she was sick. She made strength look like her routine. So when she started looking paler and more tired than usual, nobody really panicked. Maybe it was the weather. Maybe the herbs weren't kicking in like they used to. Maybe it was just stress. Somto casually mentioned, "Mommy, please, let's do a full checkup." But she waved him off. "I'm fine, just tired." And he believed her because strong women like her always made you believe. Then, one morning, while cutting uziza leaf for her soup, she collapsed in the kitchen. Emergency, rushed to the hospital. Doctors were alarmed. Blood levels critically low. Kidney under stress. One lung showing signs of infection. Her body had been fighting long before the collapse, but no one saw it coming. Somto didn't leave her side at the hospital. If he wasn't at the hospital, he was at home managing meals or doing homework for his siblings and making sure they are well taken care of. He and his dad took turns, one sleeping in the hospital chair, the other holding things down at home. But truth be told, his dad barely held it together. This man was a man who hummed old Osadebi songs to his wife on some evenings just to make her blush, who shined her shoe every Sunday morning while she got dressed for church, who never forgot to bring home suya on Fridays, not because it was a routine, but because Somto's mom loved it. His parents didn't just love each other, they liked each other. You could feel it in everything they did. You couldn't get her to say yes if he had already said no. They moved like a team. At the hospital, he was just silent, fragile, like a person slowly dimming. He would hold her hand and whisper prayers when he thought no one was listening. Sometimes, Somto would walk in and see him gently rubbing her feet or placing a warm cloth on her forehead like it would fix the pain. But she didn't speak much. She was slipping away. Somto saw it in his father's eyes. The truth. He wasn't just scared of losing her. He was already lost without her. They tried everything. Transfusions, oxygen, IV fluid, and for a moment, it looked like she might pull through. Her eyes would flutter open. She would try to smile, reach for her husband's hand. And one afternoon, with all of them gathered around her bed, husband on one side, Somto on the other, her lips moved gently. Take care of each other. That was it. She passed. Somto didn't just lose his mother that day. He lost the light in his father's eyes. Her voice echoed in his ears for weeks. After the funeral, his father barely spoke. No more suya on Fridays. No more osadebe in the living room. He sat in his room for hours, just staring at her pictures or crying. Some days, when Somto went to serve him food, he would find him holding her picture and sobbing. He barely ate. He barely slept. The house felt too quiet, like he didn't know how to breathe without her voice. Somto tried. He cooked. He cleaned, he kept things going, but deep down, he knew his father was only waiting. 5 months later, Somto walked into the room and found him dead. No illness, no hospital visit, just silence. And in that moment, Somto didn't cry because part of him had already buried his father the day he buried his mom. That was the moment he realized he was all his siblings had now. 3 siblings. A 19-year-old girl in the university, a 15-year-old girl in secondary school, and a 9-year-old boy in primary school. He became everything overnight. Breadwinner, protector, and decision maker. Grief. There was no time for it. He planned the funeral, bought caskets, signed the death certificate. He didn't shed a tear. But some people, they smell opportunity where others see grief. Just 2 weeks after the second funeral, they came. 3 of his uncles from his dad's side. We came to check on the children. They said, this house, who's watching over it now? We can't leave a family without a man in charge. You people are still children. My brother would want his siblings to have a share of his property. Somto smiled calmly. He offered them cold malt and told them to relax, then stepped outside. He made a call to a friend. Her dad was ex-military. 1 hour later, soldiers arrived. You should have seen the scene. They were suddenly stammering. When one soldier asked what to do, Somto said, if they are not gone in 1 minute, take them to the barracks. Teach them some manners. They ran, but the threat, it was just the beginning. After a month, the house had finally gone quiet. No visitors, no lawyers, and no noise. But Somto couldn't sleep. It started with dreams, faces, familiar ones, his uncles standing in the compound and chasing him around. One of them holding a whip, shouting, bring the document. He would wake up sweating, gasping, tight-chested, heart pounding like a drum. But first, he brushed it off. It's just stress, he told himself. After all, who wouldn't be dreaming strange things after burying both parents in just 5 months? But then, it kept happening every night for a week straight. He saw the same faces and that same whip until one night the message changed. This time the dream was quiet. Just 2 of his uncles standing across from him. One said, Stanley, we've warned you. If you don't bring those documents, we'll deal with you. He woke up in a cold sweat, sat on the edge of the bed, frightened. That was the last time he had the dream. A week later, they came. He heard the noise before he saw them through the peephole, that small gate window where you can see people. Somto didn't say a word. He turned around, went back inside and picked up his phone, called his friend, the one whose father was ex-military. Within an hour, soldiers came, calm, firm, efficient. All 5 were arrested, hauled off like area boys. And that night, Somto sat alone in his parents' room and cried. He locked himself in their room, the one that still smelled faintly of them. He buried his face in his mom's pillow and let everything fall out. He had been strong for the past 1 year, and now it was finally time to break. For the first time in a long while, they had peace. And for once, it felt like the storm had passed. It's been nearly 3 years now. No uncles have come back, no drama. The house is peaceful and his siblings are thriving. His sister is done with the university. The youngest brother is in secondary school now. And Somto, he's still standing. He took over his dad's shop as the manager. He still misses his parents so much, but he doesn't crumble anymore because he knows he kept his promise to his mom, taking care of them. If you really enjoyed this story, click the like button and subscribe so you can always see when we post more interesting African stories. Up next is the story of Tonia and the price she had to pay to heal her sick son.